Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Southampton Town Board to order on this 24th day of August 2021. Please rise if you're able and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And let's join together for a brief moment of silence as we keep in our thoughts and prayers all the men and women of our armed services who bravely defend our freedoms at home and abroad each day. Let's join together in silence. Please be seated. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Schneiderman.
Present.
Councilwoman Lofstad.
Here.
Councilman Martell.
Here.
Councilman Bouvier.
Here.
Councilman Schivoni.
Present.
All right, thank you. We are all here. Just a quick word about Henri, the hurricane that wasn't. So we had quite the weather forecast going into Sunday, where it was looking like we had a Category 1 hurricane that was going to make landfall right in our area, which we haven't seen since Hurricane Gloria 36 years ago. So we furiously prepared. We assembled people, we assembled resources, we made all the arrangements we needed to protect people from a Category 1 catastrophic event. We were fortunate that the storm changed path and lost intensity, and we ended up with a rather mild, rainstorm event, and we were prepared for much worse. I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared, and but I do want to thank a few people because they were there when we needed them, even though it turned out it was much less than forecasted. So first off, Ryan Murphy, our public safety director, did an extraordinary job working with all of the agencies, making sure we had all the equipment we needed, working with the Red Cross to open up the emergency shelter there, working with the police department to open up the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, and working with county and highway and bay constables all across the board. I thought Ryan, we really got to see Ryan in action. He's been great through the whole pandemic, keeping us safe, but this was a different side of him, and what an operations manager we have in Ryan. It really was extraordinary to see. He kept everybody abreast. He dealt with the media. He was on News 12. He was on Fox 5. He was very, very active and constantly available to me, constantly updating me as to the changing forecasts and areas of concern. Also, the second person I really wanted to thank was Chief Skrinicki. Chief Skrinicki and the whole police department, but the chief also worked really well with Ryan. They worked together seamlessly. He made sure that we had profiles, photographs, drone shots of all the beaches prior to the storm. They literally, as soon as I talked about a voluntary evacuation order for Dune Road and other low-lying areas, they went door to door. They knocked on every door. And to find out who was there, who was staying, and contact numbers for them. I mean, it's hard to you don't see all the work that goes into preparing for a Category 1 hurricane, and we only had basically 24 hours to do it. Normally we get more time, and I was really impressed by the entire team. The entire team got everything together, whether it was sharpening chainsaws or topping off generators, or making sure every vehicle was full of gas, or every generator was working, whatever supplies were needed, high axle vehicles, whatever it might be. the storm preparation, I thought, was seamless and integrated and expeditious, and there are a lot of people to thank, but I really just, for today's comments, I really want to, just a special thank you to Ryan and Chief Skrnicki, who I thought did an absolutely terrific job. Okay.
Well, Supervisor, it's important to note, I think, that the season is certainly not over, and this is an excellent emergency preparedness drill, if not anything.
Absolutely.
If nothing else,
Yeah.
it tested our systems.
And we'll take it.
Yep. Because we are going to get a Category 1 hurricane. It is just a matter of time. We've had them in the past, and, on the probability model, we are overdue, and likely we will get one. So, Superstorm Sandy wasn't a Category 1 hurricane. It was a tropical storm, and boy, did that cause a lot of problems. Okay, so next I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the town board meeting from August 10th, 2021.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right, Madam Clerk, would you please read the communications?
Yes, we have received communications in my office from the following entities. We have received public notices from the Village of Sag Harbor, notice of adoption, Village of Southampton, Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation, Village of West Hampton Beach, Planning Board Public Hearing Notice, and a Zoning Board of Appeals Public Hearing Notice. Town Fire Districts, we have received from the East Quogue Fire District notices for a workshop to discuss the 2022 Fire District budget on August 26th. A resolution adopted subject to permissive referendum regarding a $60,000 expenditure for miscellaneous repairs and improvements to the Fire District monument. Financial disclosure statement filing from listed individual, and emails, letters, and land use applications regarding the following: East Hampton Airport noise, Planning Board application for McGee Street, Southampton, Zoning Board of Appeals applications, Rose Court, North Sea, Schwanks Road, Watermill, and Ocean Road, Bridgehampton. Town of Southampton Housing Authority for Vale Avenue, Riverside, and Shore Road, North Sea. Bid openings took place for the RFP for preparation of a climate action plan, CAP, for the town of Southampton, dated August 12th, 2021. The following proposals were received. Southampton Volunteer Ambulance Facility was opened on August 18th, and the Southampton Volunteer Ambulance Flashing Beacon was also opened on August 18th. The following report was filed from the Town Comptroller's Office for the July 2021 monthly financial reports, and that concludes the communications for this meeting's agenda.
All right, thank you, Sundie. All right, I'd like to next consider some walk-on resolutions and adding them to our agenda. There are three. Resolution 37256, which is our 16th warrant. 37268 would authorize the supervisor to sign a contract award for WQIP funds for carp removal. And 37248 is a notice of public hearing to consider improvements to the Hampton Bays Water District pursuant to Town Law 202B.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we needed 4, we had 5, so those will be added to our agenda. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any public hearings, which would normally be the next thing on the agenda. So we will move to public portion. I do have 2 people who have indicated they'd like to be heard. We'll take them in the order they were received. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to make their comments known. I will call you up, and even though I've said your name, when you get to the podium, I ask that you just identify yourself one more time for our records. Steve Abramson.
Steve Abramson from Watermill, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the Mill Pond Association and also the Watermill CAC. Supervisor Schneiderman, members of the town board, thanks for your consideration and time. Primarily what I'm talking about here is the carp removal in Mill Pond, which was designed as the primary thing that we could do by Princeton Hydro, which is the limnology firm that was hired by the town to produce a remediation and restoration plan for Mill Pond. Princeton Hydro removed about 25% of the carp in Mill Pond, which is about 3,600 pounds. It's important, they felt the number one thing for us to do in 2021 would be to continue that effort to remove carp, that everything else should wait until the following year. There is a 5-year plan proposal before the Water Quality Improvement Program, but this first year would be for carp removal, and time is fleeting. And this is the important time to get carp when they are spawning. Their primary indicator as to what their problem is in the pond is that they move around the bottom, particularly at this spawning time, moving around all of the nutrients so that they become resuspended in the water column and become available to harmful algal blooms, for which Mill Pond has been posted year after year by New York State. So we know that the town in principle is behind the remediation of Mill Pond, which is an important water body that spills through the water mill from which the hamlet got its name into Mecox Bay, and ultimately the health of Mill Pond affects the health of Mecox Bay. So we would like to see that the town board does continue this and finds the funds outside of waiting for, at the moment, for the 5-year plan from the Water Quality Improvement Fund to continue this effort now. Not to do so would be to undo a lot of the progress that was already made. Having removed 25% of the existing carp population, there's still about, by the fishery survey that was done, about 10,000, 11,000 pounds of carp remaining. The hope was that we were going to be able to eliminate a good portion of that again this year. The Mill Pond Association received a quotation early in the year because we thought that we would be reapplying for this application through the Water Quality Improvement Program as an organization, as we had done before. But we were then told that, no, it had to come from a town body, and then we were also told it had to be a 5-year plan. Well, the quotation that we received was very interesting because they are essentially assuring us that they will perform. Their quote was for just under $50,000 to remove carp, and they would be willing to assure us that they would remove 6,000 pounds of carp and proportion their payment in accord with what the pounds are that they would be removing from the pond, which is an extraordinary guarantee, because if you go fishing in Montauk and somebody says they're going to go get you a tuna, well, there's no guarantee you're going to get a tuna. You're guaranteed you're going fishing. These people are guaranteeing that they're going to get 6,000 pounds of carp out of there for that money, the same amount of money that Princeton Hydro subcontracted for, $50,000, and they only removed 3,600 pounds. So this firm is willing to say that they are backing their ability to get the job done by assuring that the linkage with the money that would be paid. And we hope that you can consider doing that now because it's so important at this time to do it.
I realize you haven't seen the resolution, so the resolution actually would provide the trustees the $50,000, and then they would administer the program. I imagine they would competitively bid it, so I don't know which firm would get it, whether it would be some local fisherman or fisherwoman, or whether it would be that firm. But
the most important thing is that we win and not the carp. and that if a local firm or some other firm will do this, I think it would be great. But I think the same assurances should apply when the bids are sent out. That the target is this amount of carp coming out, and we already have a bid for 50,000. If somebody can beat that number and guarantee it, great.
And if they don't?
If they don't, I recommend you go with this firm that's highly qualified.
If we choose a particular firm and they come out with 5,000 pounds of carp instead of 6,000.
Well, then they'll get 5/6 of the $50,000.
So as I understand it, there's a performance guarantee associated with
Right.
this contract,
Yeah.
right? So what I would suggest, don't mean to interrupt you, what I would also suggest, though, is that the monies that you may or may not get after tonight's vote be reconciled with the 5-year plan monies as they go forward. And
Understood.
Not having seen the contract, I'm not sure that we can contract that way, but if we can, I would support it on that basis.
Makes sense to me, whatever that's
So,
worth.
and I didn't.
No, it's okay.
Can I answer any other questions? Anybody have any?
Well, I'm wondering if they estimate how much carp is actually in the pond, but
At this point, they estimate that there are 10 to 11,000 pounds remaining, that Princeton Hydro removed about 3,600 pounds, for which $50,000 of town money was spent. And the carp are 94% of the biomass of the fishery in Mill Pond. They did an electrofishing survey, and the amount of carp remaining are about 10 or 11,000 pounds. And they are, according to their modeling, responsible for about 40% of the nutrient loading to the lake.
So just to add to that as well, that I just don't want the public to get the idea that removing carp is the only part of the plan.
No, no,
There's a
there are
lot to this plan. It's
There's a lot to
available
the plan.
read. We've been, Steve, you and I have been working on this for a long time, back and forth, and you know my feelings about certain elements of that, but there are big parts of this that need to be done as part of the plan that Princeton Hydro had originally given to us. So
I
I'm hopeful
I
that
think
that
it-
you guys can help the trustees make that happen.
Well, for what it's worth, the trustees are in favor of this action at this point in time. They had a meeting last Monday at which they assured us that they would be writing a letter to the town board in support of this effort right now to remove carp and find the funds outside of the water quality improvement program, or apart from, or in advance of, because they haven't the financial means with which to support this at the moment, but they would like to see it done this year.
Good, thank you.
Okay? Any other question I can answer for you?
No, and just again, the reason why it can't wait for the regular process,
Well-
which granted is late this, I know I know people have been asking for grant money since the beginning of the year, and we're just sort of getting around to awarding the grants. But we're not quite there yet. We haven't made those decisions. We haven't held those hearings. Can you just explain one more time why this needs to be pulled out now and not wait?
This is the breeding time for the fish, and they are very fecund, and we will see that the carp aren't waiting for us, no matter what we think we're going to be doing. They're not waiting. And we will have another year class of carp in the lake. And probably, since 25% were taken out, there's a biological tendency for species to try and reproduce at a rate that restores their level of prior existence. So we can expect that it would be a prolific year if they were not taken out. We'd like to see it continue. They're supposed to get out, if we get out another 6,000 pounds, that's 60% of what remains there. We will be at a sustainable level. The next step after that would be to restore the littoral vegetation, and then that would protect the introduction of largemouth bass again. Mill Pond used to be it's a freshwater pond, spring-fed, and was the scene of weekly bass fishing contests in the past. Two different clubs would come in there every weekend from different points to do that sport fishing. It would be great to see that returned. Also, the largemouth bass, which would be protected by the littoral vegetation as they spawn and grow, would predate the future population of carp. But it has to be done in a sequential order, and the first thing to do is to remove carp. And we'd hate to lose another year. It would undo what was done last year and paid for.
So just to add to the supervisor's point, I know we're really close to
the spawning time for carp. So it's really incumbent at this point for the trustees to get this RFP out and answered as quickly as possible, because I don't think we have much more time left. I think we may even be already beginning to be into spawning season, so, you know.
Well, it would be important to do. There is one quote on the table, and they could get out a couple more in a hurry, I would think, if the resolution goes through here with the town board and authorizes them to do so. There's no reason why they can't get that done fast. Somebody here should want, besides this one firm, should want the business, I would think.
All right, well, if this resolution passes, we'll be able to transfer the 50,000 to the trustees. It'll be up to them to move quickly.
Well, we'll do our best to
Right.
keep it moving.
They meet in the same room, you might want to go pay them a visit. All right, anyone else? Okay.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, and, you know, Steve, we could potentially take it out of order if you want to wait, so you don't have to wait till the end. Okay, Cindy McNamara?
Good evening, Cynthia McNamara, East Quogue. I am the chair of the East Quogue CAC. I am also a candidate for town council. I am not here tonight on behalf of the CAC. 9 months ago, I was asked to join the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee by the chair, as it has no representation from west of the canal. I have attended every meeting since, but have been repeatedly told that I can't be added as a member for some unknown reason. In fact, that entire committee has remained in holdover status since last year. But I see that the Arts and Culture Committee is being appointed this evening, so maybe it'll happen soon. Regardless, as a result of attending those meetings, I was able to question the commercial charter permit as it relates to small businesses. Not a single landscaper was asked for input before that became law. And after I pointed out the unintended burden on small businesses, you amended the cost associated with it a few weeks later. I would like to avoid that same scenario as it relates to gas-powered blowers and transfer station fees. As you may recall, I addressed both the Sustainability Committee and this board last year to correct misinformation that the Sustainability Committee presented to the board on gas-powered blowers. I had not heard anything further on the subject until I attended a Hampton Bays Civic webinar on July 26th. It was there that I heard Mr. Von Leesen, representing the town as the chair of the Sustainability Committee, proclaim that there will be a total ban on gas-powered blowers in the town of Southampton. He then proceeded to cite the same misinformation that I corrected last year. Earlier this year, I spoke against the resolution to make residents pay for a permit to use the transfer stations, and was assured that while the resolution would be passed to allow a permit to be required, there would be more discussions and public hearings before any fee was associated with that permit. Imagine my dismay when I watched a recent work session and legal counsel was asked if a fee could be added without any additional public hearings. Before you add fees for residents and more regulations on small businesses, let me tell you about the way this town currently operates. That commercial charter permit you just required has been issued to landscapers who aren't licensed in the town. That's right. You can be a commercial carter and use the town transfer station without licensing your business in the town of Southampton. On the flip side, you can license your business in the town of Southampton without ever being asked to apply for the commercial charter permit you are now required to have. The Town Highway Department gives vouchers for free leaf disposal to any landscaper listed on a voucher request without ever checking to see if they are licensed to operate in the town of Southampton. And probably the biggest slap in the face to those of us who absorb the high cost of doing business out here, sit in the horrendous traffic to get from job to job, and have jumped through all of the hoops now required by the town, this board awarded a $500,000 contract to a landscape company from Port Washington who isn't even licensed to work in the town of Southampton. Small businesses in Southampton, especially those in the service industry, are struggling. It's getting more and more expensive to base a business here and harder to find help. It's time for you to start working with us instead of against us, or soon everyone's landscaper will be commuting in for Nassau County. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, so those are the only two cards I have. Let's go to the agenda. You guys okay? Take the one resolution out of order so Mr. Abramson can go home. I'll make a motion to take 37268 out of order. Second by Councilman Martell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, so
Supervisor, what page are you on?
I'm on the walk-on package.
Oh, the walk-on, okay. Great, thank you.
All
That's
right,
why I
so,
couldn't-
Page, one, no, that's, sorry, that's the card. Yeah, that's it, page one.
okay, so this is docket ID 37268, authorizing the supervisor to sign contract for award of WQIP funds for carp removal. I'm making a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
And this is a $50,000, again, to the trustees so that they could execute a program to remove carp this year, relatively soon. It does, I think, require the supervisor to approve. So I'd be looking certainly in the contractual agreement that it would be based on a performance-based contract. We just don't want to hand somebody $50,000 and hope they catch a few carp. That it's got the goal there is, I think, 6,000 pounds for 50,000, and,
It's not 50,000 a carp.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so 6,000 pounds for 50,000, so proportionally, by weight, that's the proportion of the 50,000 they would be entitled to. Okay, so any
Did you
questions
get
about it?
vote to take it out of order first?
Oh, I did already.
Out of order, okay.
That was the first vote, and then I made a motion to approve. So, okay, and then we had a second on the motion to approve, and just asking if there's any other discussion. Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
approved. Okay.
Sorry.
You got your,
You know where Eric lives?
you got your 50,000. I'll go to the trustees and
I didn't
get it in motion.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, yeah, thanks for your work, Steve. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the beginning of the agenda, unless the board wants to take anything else out of order. And we'll start with Resolution 820, sponsored by Councilman Bouvier.
Town Board Resolution 2021-820, co-sponsored with Councilman Scavone, is to authorize the supervisor to extend a contract with the Long Island Housing Partnership to provide technical assistance for attainable housing programs.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-821, also co-sponsored with Councilman Scavone, is to authorize the supervisor to execute a 2022 contract extension with the Village of Sag Harbor for water quality improvement project funds.
Same second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 822 of 2021 authorizes the supervisor to execute an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Quogue for use of the town's highway bids.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Town Board Resolution 823 of 2021 authorizes supervisor to sign a 2021 contract to support the trustees and freeholders of the commonality of the town of East Hampton for water quality protection strategies.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. That's, I think, a $2,000 contribution to the work that they're doing.
And, well, this is actually being done by the Sag Harbor Harbor Committee. This is the ongoing longitudinal testing of Sag Harbor in the Upper Cove, Inner Cove, and in the town of East Hampton. And they are putting together monies from the Village of Sag Harbor, the East Hampton Town Trustees, us, some private donations as well, like Save Sag Harbor and the yacht clubs, and they've been doing a good job getting money from different areas to keep that study going.
Sounds good. And we've contributed in the past to this.
We have. This is our third year.
All right, so we had a motion and a second by Councilman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 824 of 2021, authorize the supervisor to sign Parks and Recreation Agreement for Zumba program.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 825, 2021, declare items surplus and authorize disposal. Please.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Town Board Resolution 2021-826, 2021 notice to proposers RFP preparation for a climate action plan, CAP, for the town of Southampton. This is a second notice. Just so the board's edification, the first request for proposals that we put out were only sent to a small group of vendors by accident. It was an error, clerical error, so we have to rebid this.
Second that?
All right, seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Just
approved.
put it out there.
827 of 21 accepts ARPA Coronavirus Fiscal Recovery Grant and amends the 2021 budget. So that's the American Rescue Plan, not sure what the last A is, but this is federal money. It's a total of $5,082,618, the first half of which is $2,541,309. And this is our federal government coming to, we've already, I guess, have we already accepted it? This also, I guess, accepts it, but it also awards the first $200,000 to the Flanders ambulance. Let me see if there's any, yeah, that's the only allocation in this resolution, is a $200,000 allocation to Flanders ambulance,
Second.
so they can get a new ambulance. Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. All right, 828 of 2021 accepts donations for Southampton Town Police Department.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. This is a $1,000 donation from Christy Roche and James Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved, and we thank the donors. 829 of 2021 amends the 2021 through 2025 capital budget for 271 Flanders Road building renovations.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. I believe that that is the Head Start building,
It is.
and just a minor transfer of $5,000. Where we're hopefully locating CME as well. I think that's the plan, the Children's Museum. Okay, we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Project well underway. On schedule.
Good. Okay, so that was approved. We're moving on to 830 of 2021, amends the 21 through 25 capital budget for the animal shelter. Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. It looks like 11,000 for the HVAC system. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-831, to create a capital project for septic rebates. And for the board's information, this is, and I want to thank Assemblyman Thiel for having allowed the CPF fund to do this. This will enable us to carry over monies for septic system installations over, not in a single year, but over
Oh, that's great.
several years.
So if we budget money then and it's not used, instead of rolling over to land
Right.
preservation,
We
it
can
will stay
carry
in-
over.
Oh, that's terrific. That's good. So we had a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved. All right, 832 of 2021, deposits escrow, deposits monies into escrow account for professional services in connection with the site plan for the Watermill Village townhouses.
Second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right, 833 of 21, co-sponsored with Councilman Scavone, appoint Southampton Arts and Culture Committee for 2021,
Second.
also known as SHAC. Seconded by the co-sponsor, Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved, and we thank all the participants. It's a great group there.
Town Board Resolution 2021-835, the resolution of adoption amending various provisions of the Southampton Town Code, including Chapters 330 zoning, 325 wetlands, and 123 building construction to remove notarization requirement on particular forms.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. We did hold a public hearing on this.
We
This
did.
streamlines the process, making it easier for people to apply for these permits without having to chase down notaries. It also lets them do it online,
filing, yeah.
not have to get in the
Yeah,
car.
that's the whole goal, is to get it more automated.
Right. A little less traffic and a little more convenient for our constituents. All right, so we had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Thank you, John, for bringing that forward.
It was a group effort. Thank you, Councilwoman Lundstedt, as well for, let's see, Town Board Resolution 2021-836, authorization of cost reimbursement waiver for the Watermill Village Improvement Association 20th Annual Car Show on September 11th, 2021, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right. Councilman Scavone?
Town Board Resolution 837 of 2021, authorize a partial waiver of police fees for a Hampton Classic Horse Show.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Looking forward to the Hampton Classic. It's
coming
not
up.
very far, I think, to start this coming weekend, and then runs through Labor Day weekend. I think so.
I don't have the
Yeah.
dates in front of me, but it is
Yeah.
soon.
August 26th.
August 26th.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
So it's a great event. It's great for our local economy, and it really shows off some local talent as well as
It's just a lot of fun.
international talent.
Just a lot
And
of
it's a
fun.
lot of fun, and it's sort of become iconic event in our area. Gets a lot of attention around the world, so.
So, speaking of which, Town Board Resolution 2021-838 is a resolution adjusting the tent fee for the Hampton Classic Horse Show.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You know, I should point out, too, that the Hampton Classic also raises a lot of money for local charities, and particularly, I think, the hospital, I think, is the main beneficiary, so.
One of
it's,
the largest donations that
Yeah.
we received through the special event process. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was the hospital.
Yeah, and I think there's other charities as well associated with this event, but the hospital is a big one,
A
Southampton.
big, large donation. Yes.
All right, Julie?
Town Board Resolution 2021-839, authorize waiver of application fees for Eastport Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved. 840 of 2021, authorizing road name change from Dead Trail Road to Center Trail Road in Watermill. I can't imagine why those people,
No, we-
I can't
Why do
imagine
we
why
want to
they,
change that?
why you wouldn't want to live on Dead Trail Road.
Second that?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. And I know this has gone through a review process, you know, because, you know, we don't want to change historic markers and things like that. Some of these roads are, you know, historic, and their names are important people or historic trails. I know this has gone through a process. I didn't follow it all that closely, but I think every resident who lives on this road has asked
Yes,
for
they
this
have.
street to be changed. So from Dead Trail, I'm waiting for Fortune Cookie Lane to come in. Eventually they will, but we have some strange street names. But, so Dead Trail Road will become Center Trail Road. All right, we had a motion, a second, I think, by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, it is no longer Dead Trail Road. It is Center Trail Road. I'm sure there's follow-up that has to happen to make sure all of our dispatchers know. So when you call in and 911 call from Center Trail Road, we're going to have to make sure all the maps are updated. So Sunday, do you know who takes care of all that, or?
I'm sure it'll go through GIS. We do. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you for that.
Town Board Resolution 2021-841 is installation of new street light in Flanders. This is an LED light that's right at the, the community's been asking for since I've been here, and really glad that we got it.
Second?
Second by Councilman Martell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-842 is accept a maintenance bond in connection with the site plan application of Metro Storage in Tuckahoe.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 8:43 of 21, rescinds Resolution 2021-764.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. This was a person who was appointed to a position and did not stay in the job, didn't take the job, whatever it might have been. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. 8:44 of 2021, accepts the resignation of a heavy equipment operator in municipal works.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 8:45 of 2021, accepts the retirement of Karen Matz, Le Homme Dieu, youth counselor in youth services.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad, and I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So,
Just a little comment about Karen and
Yeah.
her work. You know, she really she contributes a lot to the youth bureau. You know, she was the person who was the individual who was running the youth court, and also, yeah, I got to know her through Youth in Government. Very good, great with the kids, and she certainly will be missed.
yeah, I've heard good things as well, so.
We wish her luck. Thank you.
Absolutely, and I guess, I'm sure it's a well-earned retirement, so. All right, 8:46 of 2021, appoints Joanne Wilner to Senior Office Assistant in Municipal Works.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved, and congratulations to Joanne. 8:47 of 21, appoints Michael Speranza to Sanitation Site Crew Leader position in Municipal Works.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved, and congratulations to Michael. 848 of 21, appoints Peter Larios to Geographic Information Systems Technician 1 position from the Civil Service list.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved, and congratulations. 849 of 21, terminates a Justice Court Clerk.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 850 of 2021, appoints Maria Colazo to Justice Court Clerk, Spanish-speaking position in Justice Court.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved, and congratulations. 851 of 2021, reassigns Tatiana Tusi to Community Preservation.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. I know this is a very positive thing for Community Preservation Fund, but I know that Human Resources is sad to lose her as an employee. She's a very valued employee, and
She's great wherever she is. so
great wherever she is.
We're fortunate.
She requested this transfer, and she'll be great there. I know she's been in housing, she's been in human resources, and everybody just speaks so highly of Tatiana's work ethic. So we're happy to have her wherever she is. So, all right, so that was approved. 852 of 2021 ratifies stipulation of settlement and release of claims.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Town Board Resolution 2021-853 is a notice of public hearing to consider historic landmark designation, and I'm sorry, this is co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone. It's a notice of public hearing to consider historic landmark designation of the former Girl Scout camp Tecumseh Winter Cabin, AKA Dining Hall, located at the Squiretown Park, 7 West Landing Road, with entrance at 62 Red Creek Road in Hampton Bays.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone. Just on the motion, I'm very happy to see this moving forward. You know, I have gone to the Girl Scout camp numerous times. I have been inside this structure,
Been there with you several times, too.
and it is a wonderful, I believe, historic building that could be utilized by, you know, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Cornell Cooperative Extension Program. I mean, it could really supplement any kind of use of that park, and it's such a shame to watch it boarded up. I've been, supervisor 6 years, and I know it's costly to fix up, but if it does meet the historic criteria, it would make it eligible for CPF historic funding, and there we do have the funds to lovingly restore this building and then make it available to the public, to the Hampton Bays community and to the broader community. That park is a gem, up on those cliffs overlooking the water. And we are going to we're rebuilding the walkway too. That's going to happen. And the Boy Scouts have done great work up there rebuilding the tenting platforms. It's one of the best assets we have in terms of parks and recreation. And it makes absolute sense to see if we can get this building put back together. So I applaud your efforts.
Well, I should mention that the Landmarks Board, I would give them a lot of credit. They went through a big review on this process to do this, and are nominating the building for historic status, so, and kudos to them. They did a really great job.
Yeah, I know there was some discussion about tearing it down, and it made me quite sad. I said that we cannot lose this building. We cannot lose it. If there's a way to save it, we should do it. And I know through the years, I've had groups that run children's programs ask me if they could, use that, fix it up, raise some money. And there's definitely a demand for that type of facility. So I know if we're able to classify it as historic and do this restoration, it will be heavily used, but really appreciated by the community. It'll make a lot of future memories of people, kids who are camped out there or learning about the environment, and maybe even tied in with the Marine Education Center, where maybe they could tent there, sleep over at the camp, get a meal at the dining hall, then take a shuttle over to the Marine Center and learn about aquaculture. It could be.
No, it's got a lot of great possibilities.
Great.
Everyone's pretty excited about it, so.
Yeah, well, me too. Okay, any other discussion on it? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right, 854 of 2021, authorize acquisition of lands of Bidewee Inc. and amends the CPF management and stewardship plan to include that property, or those properties, 111 acres.
Yeah. I used to play there
land.
as a kid, and it's a great place. Peachy Wodehouse used to own the
Oh, yeah.
house in front of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I didn't know that. This is at 118 Old Country Road. It's $1.5 million. There is developable land as part of this, as well as Pine Barrens compatible growth area and Pine Barrens core preservation areas. So part of it's undevelopable, but we would be able to steward that property. But there is development potential, and that's, in development rights, that's what leads to the $1.5 million cost. It would be a significant increase in the preserve area, that big tract of thick woodlands, in a groundwater recharge area as well. So,
And the Bidewee would still operate in the front, right?
Bidewee would operate.
That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
They're a great group.
So it's a very long property. It goes from Old Country Road all the way to Sunrise Highway. It's a very long rectangular property.
So I will happily second the motion.
All right, so seconded by Councilman Bouvier. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. All right, 855 of 2021, authorize acquisition of lands of the Lovelady Powell Revocable Trust that amends the CPF management and stewardship plan to include that property.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone, who probably wants to co-sponsor this, I imagine.
I would.
That's somebody who worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
Can we add Councilman Scavone as a
Certainly.
co-sponsor?
Thank you.
And Tommy John on the motion, why don't you tell us about this one?
It's a 4.1 acre piece of property that's contiguous to about 60 acres to the east and 16 acres of preserved land to the west. It's a small greenway, green belt, if you will, into the interior portion of North Haven. It has wetlands, and the village of North Haven is interested in stewarding this property and making it into a passive park.
The price is $2.7 million. And there's some history here, Tommy John, as I understand it, that's kind of a little bit unique.
It is, there is. This was a farmhouse in the area. The entire area was farmed at one time, and this was the house. But subsequent to that, the group, the Love and Spoonfuls, excuse me, used to, they owned the property, and they wrote a lot of their music there. This is John Sebastian and his brother, who gets not a lot of credit, but, they had, they wrote the song Magic and Summer in the City and a couple of other things. They rented the house out to Crosby, Stills and Nash, who wrote their first album at that location. So there is certainly a history. And then Lovelady Powell, who is an actor, a Broadway actor, in her own right, purchased the property from them and lived there until, for the rest of her years.
So if, we're doing this as a hamlet type of park, is that
Yes.
what we're doing?
Yes.
So I suppose you could have a little gathering place where you could have a band play and commemorate, to commemorate all the musical creativity that happened there. But that'll be up to the village.
That's right. And it's also next to another CPF property that was purchased years ago. That is, it's a beautiful piece that's really could be developed into nice walking trails. It's an old colonnade of Norwegian maples, and so they want to utilize that as a walking trail. And then there's a long, narrow pond that was actually probably dug at one point or another, but they want to possibly put a bridge over that as well, and kind of have these trails in there, along with something to commemorate its history. So the Village of North Haven is very pleased with this, and it'll be preserved rather than putting up another couple of very large houses. This could yield 2 lots, this particular property.
And maybe we'll get some more great music written out of it.
Yeah,
There we go.
there you go. Could be an inspirational place to write.
Absolutely.
CSN reunion.
Yeah, or get the Loving Spoonful.
There you go.
Are they still around?
Huh?
Are they still around?
Yes, they are.
Really?
They are.
Sebastian is.
I grew up in this area. They used to have these big dogs, big Newfoundlands, St. Bernards.
Sebastian was at the beach on Saturday night at Jones Beach.
Is that right?
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome
The
back.
Tunnel to Tower concert, yeah.
All right, well,
So,
I'm sold.
This is
All
a
right.
good one.
All right, so
And
did
thank
we,
you
did
to the
we,
board.
we had a motion and a second. I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. I know the mayor of North Haven will be very pleased to hear that. Jeff Sanders. All right, John, you're next.
Town Board Resolution 2021-856 is a road review application for 24 Southway Drive, LLC, situated at Shinnecock Hills. The tax map is, as indicated on the reso, is accepted.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Lofstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved. All right, 2 more to go. All right, 37256 is warrant number 16, capital number 16, CPF number 16, and payroll liability.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. I'm
Bouvier.
sorry,
Either way.
sorry, either way, seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. I realized it right as I said it, that I called the wrong name.
I'm the one wearing the mask.
Good. I heard a voice from my right. I can tell your voices apart. 37248, notice of public hearing to consider improvements to the Hampton Bays Water District pursuant to Town Law 202B.
Second.
All right. Seconded by Councilman Martell. Let's just take a look at this. So it's a fair amount of money. This public hearing would be held September 14th, 2021. We would be, after that, bonding roughly $4,250,000. This would be to, the main piece of it, the more expensive part, 2.6 million, would replace the pipe that runs at the bottom of Shinnecock Bay, just east of the Ponquag Bridge, that has snapped twice. And we have been told by the health department that we have no choice but to get rid of that pipe and replace it. So this would be, that pipe is very vulnerable to freeze-ups, it's very vulnerable to corrosion, and in general, it's a real problem. I understand there's not a lot of water users down on Dune Road. However, we have Oakland's Restaurant, we have Sundays by the Bay, we have the commercial fishing dock, and they certainly use waters. We use water. We have Ponquag Beach Pavilion, and we have the fish packers. So water is necessary for the customers of the water district and the public, because the public uses that pavilion an awful lot. So I probably missed a few, marinas and things like that, but so that's one piece of it. And the clock is ticking, and being out of compliance will be expensive. The way this pipe will be replaced is it will be directionally drilled. So what does that mean? That means that beneath the bottom of the bay, there'll be a pipe, a hole drilled, and the pipe will be pulled across by this, what's called a directional drill. So it starts on one side and it pops up on the other side. It's all like GPS navigated, computer controlled, and that's how they do it. It'll be well below the bottom surface of the bay, and it won't have boats hitting it. You won't be able to see it. It'll be safe and should last a very, very long time. So bringing that equipment out here, there's certain mobilization costs, and we did an analysis, and we had a company look at the water pressure east of the Shinnecock Canal, which has been a source of complaints for a long time, that people say they can't flush their toilets, they can't shower, the pressure over there is not adequate. And the solution that has been proposed is to have a second water main crossing the Shinnecock Canal. And this would actually use the same directional drill to put in a wide enough diameter pipe to provide adequate pressure to east of the Shinnecock Canal. It'll make a tremendous difference in terms of the availability of water, whether it's for fire suppression or just to be able to take a shower in the morning. On the second story, it will really help the people who live east of the Shinnecock Canal, who are in the Hampton Bays Water District. So this would be a hearing on these two projects. Both these projects are coupled together, and the one is time sensitive. The other isn't time sensitive, but it really would help us deliver a level of service that our customers deserve. So
I got a call the other day from someone east of the canal who had no water in the morning. No.
5 to 7 in the morning is virtually no pressure.
So
Yeah.
we need this.
We do, and, we'll have this hearing because, it ultimately will be paid back, in water bills, it'll be paid back in property tax, but it's a project that has to be done. If there's any grant money out there, we'll try to, we'll try to get it,
It should be noted, Supervisor, that this is part of a capital plan that we have for the Water District to make several different improvements in different areas. I looked at it and I wanted to see that we're on track, and we are on track with what we went out to the community with, saying if you want to keep the Water District, fine, which is great, and for good reason. We're going to put together the capital plan, and this is in conformance to the capital plans.
Yeah, not being able to flush a toilet or take a shower is an
Unacceptable.
unacceptable level of service.
This is the United States.
Right. Yeah, it's an unacceptable level of service.
Right.
And
And we're doing a lot of other things. We're redoing the million-gallon tank on Sears Bellows, including.
And we explored other options too. We looked for property for a new well. We did
Mm-hmm.
some other things. This came out to be the best answer.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, so, and, this is just the hearing. This will be just a public hearing, but I think it's important that the public understands what the hearing is about. Again, it'll be on September 14th at 1 PM here at Town Hall. And after that, we would then be able to consider a bond resolution. Okay, so we had a motion, and you seconded, I think?
Second, yeah.
Seconded by Councilman Martell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. And that is it for resolutions. Is there any other business? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bouvier, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.